Without my lashes. I can't go anywhere without my wigs. I just love fashion and beauty. So welcome to the stage, beauty influencer Mina. Speaker guru Tasha Sanders. Fashion designer Aaron. And beauty advocate April Parker. On the end. Well, fashion and beauty, of course. So yeah, as I stated in the beginning, my walk with Christ was actually something that was completely transformed my life. So I want to talk with you, Mina, first. So let's talk about your walk with Christ. In your initial interview, you told us about how you were once conceited. How did your walk with Christ actually force you to become less conceited and make you ultimately into the woman you are today?
Hey ladies. All right, so here's the thing. I had to come to I'm going to get to this word, but I want to preface it with this. I had to get to a point where I had to be honest with myself, because the thing about it, and we're just going to keep it real, right? People see me and they think, wow, she's so gorgeous, she's so beautiful. So growing up, it was like, oh, am I? Okay. So then I used that to my advantage, okay? The men were knocking, all right? And I noticed that, and I was the one, and I say this with all humility, but I'm just being honest because you told me to keep it real. So I was the one in my crew, you know, the crew you run with, right? I was the one in my crew who never had a problem, you know, getting someone's number. I mean, it just was what it was. So that was, yeah, right, for better or worse. And I just took that as like, okay, I can get what I want, when I want, how I want it. So that is how I ran for the longest time when I did not know Christ. You know, we go to the club and they'd be like, okay, how many numbers we getting tonight? You see? Yeah. And I don't know if people still do that, but that's what I used to do. And I came to a rearing head, if you will, because it got to a point where enough was enough, and it was like, you know, I was looking for love in all the wrong places, and it just was not working. And I know that a lot of women still do that, and my heart goes out because I was that person. And then I had to come to a point where I was like, you know what, everything that I'm doing is not working. I'm looking for a man in the club. How did that happen? Yeah. The bouncer in the club is not going to marry me, okay? You know, the guy buying me a Morel sour is not going to marry me. He just wants me chill. Be the man you was looking for. I'm looking in the wrong place thinking it was the right place. Yeah. It was all a mind issue. So when I came to Christ, I really was grateful, because when I look back, I'm like, wow, I really don't even know who that person was. But I'm so grateful because the journey was long, but it was worth it.
Yeah, it is. And so how has your walk with Christ helped your career? Well, has it helped for her?
At first it hurt, but it depends on what you mean by hurt, because when I was all about me, you know, I'm so cute, look at me, look at what I'm wearing, and follow me. When I was living in that life, I had a lot of followers. I had like maybe 16,000, 17,000 followers. It was years ago. Then when I realized that I needed to make a change, and I put a statement on my page basically saying, enough is enough, I'm giving my life to Christ, things have got to change. Honey, thousands when they went running. Yeah. And I think it was a lot of men, I don't know, but I lost like 3,000 or so followers, and I was like, Lord, what is going on? And it wasn't, but when that happened, that wasn't when I had turned my Instagram to a business. It was a personal thing, so I was like, okay, whatever. Then years ago, I began turning it to a business, and it has been growing. It has taken a while, but it has hurt in the sense where I'm not growing as fast as I know I would if I would show some skin, and I would like put Cardi B captions on my page and stuff. You know, I know it would turn up, you know. Yeah. But, you know, we're turning up for Christ. And it's a slow road, but I'll take it that way.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for doing that. Yeah, so you were talking about you turned it into a business. So in the perspective of many people, some people say a social media influencer is like, this is my job. And some people say, you know, it's not a job. And so sometimes it gets a negative connotation. So do you consider your role a job or a hobby? How do you respond to that? You know, those negative comments.
Yeah, when I first started, it was a hobby. And then I turned it to a business when I realized, wait a minute, like I can make something out of this. I'm putting a lot of work and effort into what I do, so why not monetize on my influence? So I began to work with brands. They would send me things for free in the beginning, and I was like, wait a minute, you gotta gotta pay.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of work. So I began to just do more research on how to actually get brands to pay. They need to, you know, they're gonna pay you if you're putting out content that is worth paying. So I had to invest in different equipment and you know, understand what it is that I'm doing. I have to be able to show them the value for their worth. So what I do is business, yes.
Yeah.
And I have to remind folks of that as well. Sometimes, sorry, that is my snack. I'm on keto. Hello, who's on keto here? Come on, you know the struggle, okay? It's got a timer, snack time, yes, okay? All right, so it is a business, hello, because God has given us so many gifts and talents. This does not have the time to sit around and worry so much about my 9 to 5. Listen, I have, again, to my own home, but in humility, we have so many things that we can do. Why not just seize that and just say, listen, I work this job 7 to 3, but on the end I'm doing this, and all of that brings an income, helps your family, you know, you get to exercise what gifts you have in you, and that's what I do. So it is business, yes.
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially if you're getting paid for it, you're working with major brands, it is a business, especially when it comes to editing and marketing and all of those things that, you know, people don't see. They don't know all that goes into it. They think it's just a filter and that's it. And it can take hours to edit videos. Trust me, I know, and that's why I try to just find people to do it for me.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I'm just curious, anyone in here, and don't like dumb it down, like, no, I'm not. Who in here would you consider is either trying to be an influencer of some sort, or you already are? Anybody raise your hand? Okay, yeah, like you understand how much work, let's give it up, please. We are working, okay? And the crazy thing about it is that people don't really understand what it means, so they think you're just like taking pictures of your Target basket just because you feel like that's on your way. No, okay, I planned this out, you know? Listen, you know, like you vlogging, people looking at you like, listen, I'm working, okay? This is business, so y'all get it. It's a lot of work, but it's so fun. I think it's just awesome. Like this woman right in the front, all her business, I'm like, geez, I need to step it up.
Yeah,
The time is now, seriously.
Yeah, definitely. And so speaking of business, Aaron, I'm gonna come to you really quick. I know that you have a successful business today, but in 2015, I know you entered into a contract with an online boutique to sell your products, and you invested thousands of dollars into the project just for it to crash and burn. So tell us about that experience.
Okay, so I sew, okay, and yes, I made my blazer, I made my jeans, hello. Always be marketing, okay? I wore this shirt for y'all, okay? I'm trying to. So here's the thing. I sew for myself. It was my hobby. That was my self-care. I had a newborn at home. I was tired. Sis was tired.
Yeah.
I am an Army vet. I have never been more tired. It was not 3 years in Iraq. A newborn. Humbled me. So my time for myself was my sewing. Well, the natural progression is that, oh, you know, your friends, can you make something for me? And I'm like, oh, I don't really want to, but you know, I will. And I started to sell pieces to my friends. That got the attention of an online brand. And they reached out to me.
Sorry, really quick.
Okay. They reached out to me and they said, hey, we want to carry your pieces in our store. I didn't even have an online store. I didn't have a brand. I was just selling stuff to my friends. So I got excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to be carried in a boutique. Blah, blah, blah. We go through everything. I sign a contract. I'm triggered. So I signed a contract thinking that we're covered. Well, in the midst of that, I realized that I didn't want to sell any more pieces, so I said I'm going to finish out this contract with this store, but I'm going to close down taking orders from friends. Well, I had a customer, a visitor who wanted to shop with me, reach out to me and said, hey, I thought you were in this store. I went to their website and it's down. Yeah. Sorry? And excuse me, let me back up. I couldn't keep up with the shipping time that they needed because I still worked a 9 to 5, so I went to New York, bought fabrics, found a factory in Dallas, that's where I live, and I got several $1,000s worth of inventory produced to keep up with the demand that I thought that I was going to get. So I had boxes of my products. You know, these vendors out here with these physical products, you know what that is.
Yeah.
You have a minimum order. You have to meet that minimum order, investing thousands. I reached out to this brand and I said, what's the problem? I went to the website, oh, we're down for maintenance. This is the middle of my contract, okay? No sales are coming in. No notifications, I was not notified. I reached out to the owner, what's going on? Hey, I'm just updating the website, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. That was 3 years ago. I never heard from that boutique owner ever again. I was stuck with thousands of dollars of inventory. Time that I took off my job, time that I spent away from my family. Money, 5 figures on a credit card. And inventory that was getting ready to go out of season because it was for the fall and it was getting ready to be spring again. So I had to hustle. I had to sell my crap on eBay. I had to go do vendor booths to try to beat the spring season. And it was terrible. Yeah. It was terrible. So that took the joy. Like I said, that was my safe space. That was my self-care. It stole all of it away.
Yeah, and that was my next question for you, because I know situations like that, especially for Black women, that would force us to stop. That would force us to give up, but you didn't. You are still doing this. So yes. What actually inspired you or encouraged you to keep going?
Well, I took some time. It was a few months before. I didn't even go in my sewing room. I closed the door. Literally, I walked past it. I didn't go in it anymore. But what I had was knowledge. I had seen myself go through all of this, and I said, you know better. How can you take what you already have and go do something else with it? And I had already built up a pretty decent following for my sewing blog, Style So Me, and I said, they don't want finished pieces. They want to sew it. And so I already had the patterns made. So I Googled it, and I learned how to make a sewing pattern, and I put it online, and I sold it, and it sold out. Yeah. And that's how I pivoted my business. And instead of selling finished pieces, I sell sewing patterns.
Yeah, well, shout out to you for figuring it out. The name of the conference, what's in your hands? Sometimes we have to figure it out, because I know so many times we think that we are going in the right direction, and God is like, no, that's not where I need you. And so many people will look at that as a no, when it just means not this way. I have a better way for you. Yes. You know? So I know we're talking a lot about entrepreneurship, and Tasha, today I know that you are actually the founder of Her Summit. However, I know at one point you left your high-paying job to do a more fulfilling, low-paying job. So what motivated that decision?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just being unhappy. I was in Boston, Massachusetts, and whoever's from there, no shade. But it wasn't for me. I was like, this isn't, it was cold, people were really rude, it was the stereotype. And just at the job, it was really high, stressful job. I was doing like 5 different jobs when I really should just be doing one. And I was getting paid well, but definitely not what I should have been paid. And it was my first job out of college, and I think a lot of us went through that, like, you know, your entry-level job. You know, you're gonna take whatever you can get at that point. And it took me 8 months to even get an internship out of college. So I was like, I'm taking whatever. But ironically, that was my first choice out of college, this job in Boston. And so after a year and a half, I was like, dude, I have to leave. Like, it's not for me. And I went and took a job in Houston with not even a part-time job. It was with Sneaker Summit, but at the time, they were just doing events. We didn't have a store yet. And I was the social media manager. So I really only worked like from home posting, and then when we had events, which was 2 times a year. So I had to find another job, but I was like, I like this, let's see where it goes. Yeah. And I got paid much less. Mm-hmm. Again, I think I got paid per post, so I wasn't getting a full like income, like to support my bills, or to pay my bills. But again, I was much happier. Yeah. Yes, like Houston, oh my gosh, it'll be 4 years, it was 4 years July 4th. And so I've never been more happy. I don't think I could have done anything, started Her Summit, been where I'm at in my career if it wasn't for Houston. Yeah. And moving here was definitely what was meant for me, and one of the best decisions of my life.
Yeah, and how many people here has heard of Her Summit?